framed for serious crimes that I had nothing to do with, driven to homelessness, and made to think that I was crazy for believing what I knew was true. These groups used heavy witchcraft against me. My identity was compromised and used for other people's gains and profit. Ideas of mine were stolen and utilized with other people taking credit for it. And this was all being driven and orchestrated by a secret coven of witches and warlocks. I mentioned in the first part of my testimony about two groups of thugs. The first group of thugs with members in it that are family members of mine. And the second group of thugs being the group of thugs that came up against me during this whole ordeal that started in Houston. Both of these groups are involved in a secret network in the United States of secret groups and covens. This secret society is comprised of street dudes and females, gangsters, pimps, drug dealers, producers, singers, hip-hop and R&B, and rappers, struggling and successful from all over the country and all over the world. This is only one of the secret societies that came up against me to orchestrate my demise, but this particular one that I'm referring to of street dudes is the one that really did the most to try to make sure that I didn't survive. And because many of these street dudes that were involved in this belong to other secret societies, i.e. the Masons, I found myself up against a huge network of people who held all kinds of different positions in society, including people who were involved in law enforcement, which is a big reason why I feel like I never received proper justice for the things that I went through.
My mom and my sister, they try to keep me out of the streets, by playing baseball and different sports. But pretty much, for some reason, I always found my way going into the streets. Always. I did play professional baseball. I played for independent ball in the Frontier League. I was one of the top baseball players in New York City growing up. But after that, I got into witchcraft, Santeria, gangbanging with the Bloods. My main story was me being a warlock. A big warlock. If you don't know what a warlock is, basically Haitian voodoo, Dominican voodoo, African voodoo. I grew up in that lifestyle. As I was growing up in the streets, I got introduced with 21 divisions. 21 divisions is starting off with Dominican voodoo. I went into a gathering, like a house. And when I walked into the house, I thought it was just a regular, gathering, partying and stuff like that. And when I went into there, they were doing spiritual sacrifices, rituals, and stuff like that. And you could see, spirits going into people, and they will start manifesting. And if you don't know what manifestation means, is when a spirit comes inside of you and it starts becoming that person. The spirit becomes them, and they start doing rituals, smoking cigars, drinking, talking about your life and who you are in life. And there was one spirit that came towards me, and he says, "You don't know who you are." He says, "You're very powerful, and we could use you." And I said, I was intrigued by that. I was like, yeah, I want that power. I want that fame. I want the money. As the spirit started coming inside me, I started getting this anger, this rage, and I became somebody that I wasn't. A lot of people that would come to these meetings were rappers, drug dealers, and people who want the same power. And I didn't know that because they made it seem like it was God. I did the whole blood rituals and everything in Cuba. I got bathed. It was me and another woman. I was Achun and she was Yemaya. We would be there in a room for a whole week, 7 days. 7 days. They would do blood rituals. They'll have a dove and a pigeon. They'll cut their heads off and they'll have us sleep with it for a whole week. Yeah. And that's how they could consider the Holy Spirit as a Christian. So it's like they're kind of mocking God. That's how I see it as. And we was there for a whole week, and then we did this big ritual that they brought all their idols. They crystals and stuff like that. And then they would do the blood sacrifice of animals. And they would cut the goat. They would cut all different types of animals, and they would feed these saints all around. They would feed them. And then after that, they'll do a circle, and they'll start doing another ritual where they cut your hair off. That's why I keep my hair long. And they will mark you right here from the crowns of your heads, right here. This is like an open door. If you're a Christian, Christians know what an open door means. Basically, it's an open door. When you're a baby, where they breathe? They breathe from the crown of their heads. Well, in the spirit world, that's where they come from. That's where they oppress you from. Oppression means you get attacked spiritually. Not inside of you, but outside of you when they speak. So I'll bring the people into that lifestyle.
You would recruit them into that?
Yeah.
Do you get paid to recruit?
Yeah.
Oh, so you do get a cut to recruit?
I do get a cut because I became a warlock. I didn't become just a regular santero or whatever. I was a warlock.
How many people do you think in New York are involved in this?
A lot of people. You be a lot of people. Not just only in New York. You got it everywhere. You got it in Connecticut. You got it in the whole world.
Once you recruit someone, you convince them to come with you. They have to pay. How much is the price?
Depending on what they say is the price. In the spiritual, like I said, they do the show readings, they do the coconut, they do the blood sacrifices, and they ask the spirit, how much should they charge them?
You got a lot of pushback from maybe fellow gang members or stuff that doesn't believe in it?
Oh yeah. A lot of people are scared of it. That's why they don't talk about it.